right. This is our first podcast. Just to let you know, not only are we going to have a YouTube channel, but one of the things that I want to incorporate is a podcast, because me, myself, I love talking, I love conversating, and I love, bouncing ideas and just to have what people's thoughts are. So for today's podcast, we are going to have two of my friends. First, let's introduce who my friends are. This might be the Morla and Friends podcast. So we'll start off on my right. I don't know if it's your left or right, but we have aLeXiS GuTieRrEz. What's going on, aLeXiS?
What's up?
Real quick, let them know how we met, man.
So, how did we meet? It was many years ago. We had a mutual friend, Oscar Gomez. Oscar and I went to elementary school together. And then after elementary all the way through high school, and then after high school we kind of lost touch. And then it was just before our 20th anniversary, our 20th reunion that was coming up. I reconnected with Oscar through Facebook, and I found out he was doing video production, and he was doing a thing called the Michael Morla Show. Mm-hmm. So
that's him.
Yeah. So he brought me on, and I was like, hey, this is video production, is something I've always wanted to do and work in. And so he was like, well, I'm doing the show, the Michael Morla Show, and he introduced me to you, and we started doing videos like Beta Breakers, mm-hmm. and that was like my first introduction to you. So we met through Oscar, and we met through doing video.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was like 20.
Jeez, don't age myself. That was like 16 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah. 2010, I think it was. Yeah. But
it's never too late, man. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And next we have his cousin.
My name's Paul.
All right.
My way of meeting Morla was we'll call him Morla. My way of meeting, my version of meeting you was a lot less intricate, in that we were over at not in Curry, over on Irving, just aLeXiS and I getting that buffet.
Yes, Indian buffet is always good.
Indian buffet, and we're just sitting there. It was like we were in the middle of I remember us sitting in the middle of the room. It wasn't even peak hours. I feel like it was us and like two other guests that were there. My back was against the glass, and he was the one facing towards the street. So we're just waiting because we just got sat down. And I remember I'm on my phone, or I was on my phone, we're having a conversation, and then aLeXiS goes, "Is that Michael Morla?" I was like, "Who's this guy?" I'm like, "Who?" And I thought it was the dude who made like the Kombat.
Moore,
yeah, Michael Moore. I was like, Michael Moore's here, and I looked at him like, nah, it's just some Filipino dude. and then he goes on outside. I'm like, oh shit. This guy must be a big deal if he has to leave the restaurant. And then you walk in, he's like, dude, it's Michael Morla. I'm like, who? He's like, you don't know, San Francisco's Michael Morla, which is where I get calling you every time I see, like, is that San Francisco's Michael Morla?
Yeah.
I call back to that moment every time you see him.
Just a little background. I used to have a public access show here in San Francisco. Yeah. This was before, I don't want to age myself, but this was before YouTube, any social media. You had to get public access, and that was a very fun time. Every episode we had to push out every week. The grit to edit it, to shoot. Oscar, we miss you, buddy. He's the one that put us in here. He started, video production and everything. So we're going to continue this in memory of my boy Oscar.
You had quite a bit of episodes though.
Yeah.
I remember in the beginnings of like just the talks of having this show. Yeah. I remember aLeXiS showing me like the videos. I was like, whoa, this is a thing. He was like, yeah, dude, I told you, San Francisco's Michael Morla. Yeah. I thought they were just like, born and raised here, chopping it up.
I think I still have because I was a guest VJ for Coffee 20, and they gave me the DVD, so I gotta look for that because I did a lot of commercial spots. I did a lot of things. Hi, welcome to Coffee TV. You're watching So, yeah,
that would be good. Like we could put that footage up on the channel.
Yeah, I gotta find it. But yeah,
you release it.
Yeah,
but that was fun. Fun working. It was a week, but unfortunately, if you drive by where Coffee TV used to be, it's gone. There's like no, I don't know if there's any.
Really?
Yeah, they don't even have Coffee TV anymore. Supposedly some place like in Kansas or something bought the channel rights, so they don't have Coffee TV. You know what's cool too, aLeXiS? We follow the same thing. There's a retro Instagram. Yeah, and I love it because they have the TV20.
Yeah,
and I love following that channel because it just has all this nostalgia stuff that us old people know. So there's not a lot of us here left in San Francisco, but great. Yeah, thanks for talking about that. So from now on, every time I have a guest on the show, I'm gonna tell them how we met and why we are friends. Okay.
You can find the your old clips from the Michael Morla show, not on our channel but on Pocho Productions. So that's why we call this season 2. I've been calling this season 2 because it's kind of the continuation of
it's like 15 years
yeah. It's the relaunch
of the Michael Morla show.
Yeah,
but
I was like 12, 13 when you guys are doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're tiny.
And now you're 40. Man, how long is that?
27 for the record.
All right, just to let you guys know some background, we just bought the interface today. So fresh off my Amazon delivery, we're using it. So yes, you're lucky. Oh man, I love it. My live audience out there. Okay, cool. All right. So coming up this weekend, we have California Extreme.
aLeXiS.
A little background about California Extreme. It's held in Santa Clara. It's a once a year. I don't know how to describe aLeXiS. Maybe
convention, exposition.
Yeah. They headline. They have it's this gigantic showroom with like a bunch of hundreds of old school arcade games, pinball machines, and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like a video game convention, but for retro gamers.
That's right.
Yeah.
So basically, you can have a lot of old people there that I can relate to. So yeah.
What I like about it is that all these people that were like kids when these games came out, they're bringing their kids now.
Yeah.
Some of their grandkids.
You will see that. You have people bring their kids. And I think one time I was talking to someone who brought their kids, and he told me he was just happy that the kids were into those games. Yeah. Because with technology now, with their iPads and whatever games they can pick up, they were actually interested in playing arcade games. But yeah, so it's, you have pinball machines and arcades. I'm not really a pinball person. I'm more into the video games, but you guys are more pinball people, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that was like because how we discovered it was I was into pinball, like super into pinball at the time. And I was just looking up different conventions and stuff where we could go play pinball. And then, so like, yeah, I'm there mainly for the pinball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got dragged on with it. So it's like the way he did find out the way of how like we ended up finding about it, but I got dragged into it from him. And this was back before we knew about the convention, he would bring us to like all these very unlikely places. Yeah. The first one, not unlikely. This was more with the topic. Was the pinball museum out in like Alameda. That one was legit. One time, very similar to California Extreme. One-time payment, in and out all day until they close. After we exhausted that, or like all right, let's see what else there is. We went to the point where like we started crawling around trying to find like these pinballs and pinball crawls. One of them was over there on the Lucky's, over on Mission by top of the hill. Yes. Like right by Jollibee and all that. Yes. Across the street was like some auto shop, right? Or that did like tires. And I think aLeXiS found on Reddit that someone said,
well, what's crazy,
there was one there.
It's Mission Tires. I believe it's Mission Tires.
Mission Tires. Yeah. So in Mission Tires, they had one. So he's like, hey, I got an outlet. Let's go check it out. And I was like 16 or 17. So it was like this full grown dude and like some high schoolers driving around trying to find pinball. And then we go there. He's like, the guy's like, oh, how can I help you guys? And then aLeXiS is like, I heard you guys have a pinball machine. He's like, yeah, we have one right there in the corner. And it was in the corner. And this is how long this thing was not even been used. It wasn't even plugged in. So the dude plugged it in for us and he let us play for it. Like,
and it was not a quarter, it was a nickel. No, I'm just kidding. I don't, for as long as I remember, games and pinball has always been a quarter.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, not if you go to Nickel City.
Okay. What's Nickel City?
Oh, Nickel City. Rest in peace, Nickel City. I don't know if is Nickel City still around.
I don't think so. No.
Rest in peace, Nickel City.
Yeah, it was like it was an arcade thing that was, I think it was made by Sega, right? And then they had one in San Jose. And I think most of the games are like a nickel, but you know,
wow.
Some of them are like 25 cents, but you know, like the really bad ones were like a nickel. And then if you wanted to play Street Fighter, it was like still 50 cents, $1.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It was a nickel, but it would be like, all right, how many nickels is it? 10 nickels. I'm like, that's 50 cents.
Yeah. I remember
that's right.
Yeah, I remember we used to do this trick where we would take a nickel and hammer it the size of a quarter, and that would all the things we did as a little kid when that arcade phenomena was still so new. But yeah, so like again, I could play pinball, but I guess I'm not really into it because I'm not too good to it. I'm not too good. I always mess up on the I didn't know until you told me like 6 years ago that you can actually tilt it. You can move the ball, because once the ball goes down the middle, you lose. But I didn't know there's a trick where you can tilt it. But I haven't perfected that yet.
It's nudging. You don't want to like full on pick it up and tilt it, because that would trip it off. It's nudging. So as it's going down the middle, just give it like a little tap, and just so that the ball doesn't go down the middle anymore. Just enough to switch over and then hit it with the flipper.
Oh yeah, man. But one thing I noticed about California Extreme, like when I try to play pinball over there, it's so hard to play the popular games. So I always go to the retro 1970s pinball machines that nobody plays.
Yeah, I mean, there's a beauty in that, because then you get to see what it was before it was popular, or what was the predecessor before that. Yeah. And then, you know, maybe on the off chance where someone, that's why I like to camp out on the ones that are like next to it. Mm-hmm. The ones I want to go to are always going to be packed up. Yeah. But the ones that I want to go to, I'll go to the one next to it where no one wants to go. And then that's how I camp out. I play and then camp. But sometimes it doesn't go through, and I get caught up in the moment and end up forgetting to actually play the one I wanted to play.
So, is there any classic games that you guys look forward to playing at this California Extreme? Any
of the Japanese candy sit-down ones. Okay. It's like those little like sit-down. It's like the one he has here, but those candy cabinets. Oh, those ones are always great to play.
Yeah, one thing I like about this place, we're not going to give you the location because we don't want people coming in here. Just kidding. Is if you look behind me, aLeXiS has this arcade cabinet. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Okay, but this arcade
behind Morla.
Yeah, how many games does this have?
900, like a little over 900.
900 video games. Imagine the technology we have now that you could play any video game you want in this thing.
Just about, yeah.
Just about any video game, from not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. We're talking about arcade games. From Punch-Out to Asteroids to Pac-Man to Ninja Turtles to Street Fighter to Sinistar, which is one of my favorite games. But yeah, just to let you know, actually we're going to be giving this away. The first caller. Just kidding. No, but speaking about that, yeah, I like going there is because it reminds me of being a little kid. When you're a kid going to an arcade, and then I don't want to age myself, but I will. When arcades first came out, I would say in the mid 80s. I mean, you've always had pinballs because my dad played pinball, right? Mm-hmm. And if you watch Happy Days, the Fonz played pinball. So you get the pinball's been there, but I guess with video games, I don't know. Was Pac-Man the first arcade game?
No, a lot of people give Pong the credit.
Pong, okay. Pong.
And I think it is Pong, right?
Yeah. I think Pong was like, there might have been one before that, before that, but Pong was pretty much like the one that most people credit as like the first video game. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the first like major one, like the big one. Mm-hmm. I know there were ones before. There were ones before Pac-Man. Mm-hmm. Maybe Asteroids was probably before Pac-Man.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. The first video game that I seen, because we live here. I live in San Francisco. I live in Bernal Heights, and there was an arcade there called Jenkins. The owner's name was Jenkins. Great guy. This is a little off topic, but I met his daughter. His daughter is good friends with my aunt. But anyways, we'll talk about it in another episode. But the first games I remember seeing was Asteroids and Space Invaders. Yeah, so I just remember Space Invaders. Like, I was a kid, I couldn't see over, so I would look over. I had an older uncle that would play. He was only 5 years older than me, but all I could see was like that little thing go like this, because I was too short, right? And I didn't know what was going on because I couldn't see on top of it, so all I saw this. Yeah, and then, but yeah, so I just remember those games. But one thing, and Tempest, I think Tempest was one of those games. But you know what I realized about games back then, and this goes with Atari and everything, is that the game itself, graphics weren't good, but the art was beautiful. Like, it's almost like you had to play the video game or buy the Atari cartridge because of how the art looked. And it's very, I don't know how to explain it, but when you look at games like,
it's called false advertising.
Okay, yeah, the false advertising of the video. But if you look at like just the art, like even a game like Tempest, if you look at Tempest, you see like aliens crawling up the tube. But when you play the game, you don't see aliens. You see like little stick figures. Another good example is Centipede, right? You see those mushrooms and like the centipede. Actually, it's kind of close to that. But yeah, I really admire the art back then. You know,
the art on the Atari boxes was like, it's some of my favorite art. I love that 80s style, art. And there's actually an art book that Atari released a few years back where it shows like all the different covers, and man, they looked awesome. And then the games were so whack compared.
Yeah, dude, it's like, I remember the cover for Missile Command. You guys remember Missile Command? Sorry, I think we're talking.
Yeah, I know. He's like,
sorry,
what?
You weren't even born yet. But I remember Missile Command. You had like, I think what it was, there was a human aspect, right? You saw like a human, and it was like at a command center, like telling a command to a guy who's looking at a screen. And the game Missile Command was about, you had to coordinate your missiles to stop their missiles. So you look at that cover like, damn, this looks like a good game. Then you look at the game, it's like lines and circles. Like, man.
Yeah, the guy was at the computer console. Yeah, I totally remember that, man.
Even remember their first game, Venture?
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude, and it's like you look at you see like a dragon and like dungeon, and you play the game, it's like a key and like a little arrow.
And the dragons look like ducks. The dragons look like stupid ducks.
Yeah, so shout out to Atari games. Again, if you're 45 and up, you guys know what I'm talking about. Sorry, man. Paul, but yeah, man, I really appreciate Atari for doing that. But back to the games. Let's talk about some video games that you like to play. I know you mentioned, what was the games you like to play? Like, Paul?
Nowadays it's mostly things catered to my likings, like anything that involves skateboarding or cars.
Yeah.
But games that really shaped me, the two major ones that come to mind are the Guitar Hero series. So that's like Guitar Hero 1 and 2. I never had 3 because my mom wouldn't let me buy 3 because she's like, you already have 1 and 2, why do you need 3? And then I skipped that and got Guitar Hero World Tour really shaped my music knowledge. Same thing with Guitar Hero number 2. That's how I found out about like the bands like Motley Crue and all them.
Okay, that's good, right?
Yeah, and then Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, that game
introduced me to a whole bunch of music.
Oh my goodness.
If it was 2 games, I would say the Guitar Hero series and then the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series. But my favorite Tony Hawk installment is American Wasteland. So it's not a Pro Skater, but it is like the one right before Project 8 where things got a little bit weird, but it was still good. Project 8 was still a good game. But
was American Wasteland the one that had like a story?
Yeah, it had a story of like you going through like Southern California. It was the one where it was like open world almost. You can go from like Hollywood to Beverly Hills to like Santa Monica.
Wow.
And then Santa Cruz and all that.
That's okay. Okay, so I had this theory, right? Like, before Street Fighter, like you had arcade games. There was so many, right? But I feel like when Street Fighter came out, it changed. Like all of a sudden, instead of just playing a video game, what people like doing was playing against each other. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Street Fighter was a game where it just everyone went to the arcade to play Street Fighter. I think Street Fighter is probably one of the most, I don't want to say maybe one of the most influential games in the video game era.
100%.
Yeah,
I would agree. Yeah,
I feel like Street Fighter changed the game.
It set a new standard for fighting games.
Yeah, not only fighting games, but I feel like it was the end of the Pac-Mans, the end of Dig Dugs, Centipedes, because now it's like, I don't know what it is, but when I was a kid growing up, if you were good in Street Fighter, it was like you got popular. Like there wasn't social media back then, but like there was that dude that could play Street Fighter. It's just like that cartoon. What was that cartoon you guys?
High Score Girls.
It's like High Score Girls, right?
Watch High Score Girl. If you like anything involving fighting games or that era of video games like Street Fighter, you need to watch it. That is our anime right there.
Yeah, so it's just, to me, it's crazy how Street Fighter changed video games, but maybe a change had to come. But that's why I'm glad you have California Extreme, because growing up, like some of the games I love to play, which aLeXiS has too, like Sinistar, right? I'm gonna be real. I don't know anybody who passed the second level of Sinistar. So if you could pass the second level of Sinistar, much props, because that's, oh man, if you ever seen that game Sinistar, when they make Sinistar and you hear "Beware, I live," you get scared as fuck. Right?
Yeah, when I was a kid, it was like the scariest thing ever. It was like the devil's voice. Yeah.
Hopefully you could do some B-roll and show Sinistar.
Yeah, I'll throw something in.
I got enough. Fuck. This doesn't have the sound effects. This is gonna be the first time I beat this one. Oh shit, I ran out of cinnamon bombs, dude. I ran out of cinnamon bombs. Oh shit. Yeah, but when I saw that at California Extreme, again, I must have spent like 30 minutes trying to beat the second level. You can't. Another game.
Yeah, it's hella hard. Yeah. It's a hella hard game.
So let's do this. What would you say, aLeXiS, is your top 5 games of retro arcade games?
Oh man,
I'm talking about you put in a quarter and play.
So like in the arcade,
yeah,
like specifically arcade games.
Pre Street Fighter days. Just kidding.
Because Street Fighter would be up there, like really high, like most of the fighting games. And like
Street Fighter would be there for me.
Yeah.
So.
And Street Fighter didn't just like change the landscape of fighting games. It ushered in fighting games, because before that there were Street Fighter 1, like nobody cared about Street Fighter 1. Yeah, the gigantic buttons you had to hit, and like nobody really cared about Street Fighter 1 at the time. It was when Street Fighter 2 came in that fighting games became a thing. The one-on-one fighting game thing. What was before that? Karate Champ. Yeah, like not like it wasn't like a
You had Yuri Kung Fu.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was different. I don't think that was one-on-one. It was just like you versus the computer, though.
But usually you can play against
another. Yeah. So that so Street Fighter kind of really started all that. So Street Fighter is definitely in my top 5.
Is there a particular Street Fighter?
Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Okay.
So it's the 3rd version of Street Fighter Alpha.
I think what made Street Fighter interesting too was there was more to the game, right? Because I remember and we're talking about Street Fighter 2, there was always something new going on that you can do. Like first you just played regular, right? And then they used to have these tournaments at Golfland in Milpitas, right? they would have Street Fighter tournaments, and dude, it was almost like the game Street Fighter. You had kids coming from Fairfield, Vallejo, San Francisco, going to Milpitas to play in these tournaments. So I remember we went, me and my friends. That's one thing too, right? We drove all the way to Milpitas from Fairfield, and then my friend who played Zangief was like tearing everybody up in Fairfield, right? So when he went to Golfland, he got killed, right? And then one thing he learned that day was the Halsem. If you could use his stretch kick and his Uga Flame and fire, you could beat anybody, right? So he learned the Halsem was the winner there. Like, if you look at the game, the Halsem is really slow, right? But if you know how to use his moves, you could trap a guy in a corner with your extended kicks. The Uga Flame, if he tries to jump at you, the Uga Fire, he tries to jump, you kick.
Yeah, that's called being cheap.
Being cheap. But they didn't call that yet, right?
Oh, then, my generation calls it cheesing.
Yeah, cheese. Well, yeah. Okay, it's funny because in Fairfield we call it cheese, and in San Francisco they call it cheap.
Yeah.
But then we knew we were right because when you did that in the game, I don't know which Street Fighter was, but then obviously you saw a cheese.
Yeah, they added the cheese later.
Cheese.
Yeah.
But anyways, this was Street Fighter 2, right? They're like, oh, damn, right? So then a few months later, he plays in another tournament. And then he comes back to Fairfield because guess what, guys? And I didn't know that little cheat. The short grab, short grab, right? So there was, and then after that he played again, and I didn't know you can do combos if you slide the buttons. So that's what was cool about Street Fighter. There's always something different that you could do within the game, but then they had to change it, right? The next Street Fighter they got rid of the cheesing. It's still there, but if you cheese, you'll know if you cheese. But the Halsem couldn't cheat like that anymore because I guess now you could actually hit his foot.
It was the same thing with Guile when you had Guile tournament.
Oh, dude, Guile was like the ultimate cheat code.
Oh, yeah. Everyone used him.
Yeah, because I think he had the best defense, right? Because from a defensive stand, you could Sonic Boom or a kick, right? But like an uppercut, you had to walk first and then do the uppercut. So Guile was like the best defensive. That was everyone's favorite, man. But then the second Street Fighter, it became Ryu and Ken, right? Yeah. So
they started balancing them out and nerfing guys because they were too powerful, and trying to make everybody like equal so that like you couldn't do the cheap stuff anymore. Funny thing about Street Fighter is that the combos and all that kind of stuff was not intentional. It was kind of a bug,
Wow.
And the players just discovered it and started thinking like, oh, this is really cool. Like if I do this, then they can't block. And they turn it into a thing, and Capcom embraced it. Like, oh, okay, people like this. So then they started intentionally making things combo after that, like in further iterations. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't see. I'm learning something new here. Cool. But yeah, what are your thoughts about the Street Fighter and the characters?
Street Fighter, when I first started playing Street Fighter, the very first time I played was Street Fighter 4 when that came out, because that was the big one that came out when I was in high school. Street Fighter 4 was the thing I was in, and that's when he started going, like 3D cell shade almost, right? It started going like 3D animated because it was on the 360, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. So that's what I chose. Because that was the only one I could get. I couldn't get the previous ones. I didn't have a Game Boy anymore. I didn't have a PlayStation. I still have my PlayStation 2, but I didn't know that you can get those games on PlayStation 2. Thanks, California Extreme. I found that out. I bought a lot of them. But 4 was the one that I really connected with because, it was 3D. I was able to see things in a whole different way. You can move around, right? No, you can still move on the horizontal.
No, it was still on a 2D plane.
Yeah, still on the 2D plane, but I like the animation of it. It was good. That's the one I was used to, but that's also where it started. Like they started animating the finishers and the signature moves. Like it was full screened. Wow. It wasn't just things, it's just like flashes and stuff, and the screen goes colorful. It's like a whole scene. It goes in like a whole cut scene. I think that was the big thing when that started going on, and I remember that being hella cool. I'm just like, yo.
Yeah, that's cool because I kind of stopped playing Street Fighter after Street Fighter 2, after the new characters. Of course, you had Alpha, then again,
Alpha was great. I was a big fan of Alpha.
That was that was my favorite of the series. Alpha
was great.
Just like seeing them young and like that anime style. The graphics had changed up so much from the original. I
always said cool. Alpha had some of the best art, and then Third Strike had some of the best music.
Oh wow, I should look more into the Street Fighter. But yeah, I just it's just amazing what Street Fighter did to the gaming industry. And it's funny because by my house, place called Scandia. Yeah, Street Fighter's there. You go there.
This is in Fairfield, right?
Yeah. Big line in Street Fighter, people watching, and nobody playing the other video games. That was like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, it was definitely like the thing. Street Fighter was like the thing back in the day. And then from that came Mortal Kombat and like all of the other wannabes like Art of Fighting.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Mortal Kombat, they tried to compete with Street Fighter by doing like fatalities. You know what I mean? Stuff. Yeah, I mean it worked, right? But something about Street Fighter where it's a lot of technique, you know what I mean, that you can do. Because Mortal Kombat, to me, you're just fighting, blocking, like,
Now, I know there are like high level Mortal Kombat players and people that really know how to play it. I guess are like super good at it. But to me, it felt clumsy, right? Yeah. Like it didn't have the same
fluidity.
Yeah. As like Street Fighter. Like holding the thing to block, your special moves, the way you had to do your special moves was kind of weird in some cases. And like, it to me, it was just gimmicky. It was just all about the fatalities and the blood and all that kind of crap.
Like when you talk about fluidity, what I like about Street Fighter is no matter how fast you play, even when you block, it kind of stops for a second. You know what I mean? That's, to me, it's fluidity because like, tuck. It's like you're giving yourself a chance to counter. And then with, like you said, it's gimmicky, right? Your block is your press button, and you just it's like a block,
Yeah, it never felt good to me to play.
But story wise, and like just how it is, it's good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But remember the first storyline of Street Fighter was so funny, right? Like Guile's revenging his best friend. Ryu is just a fighter that's just wandering the world. What was Chun-Li? Her dad died or something? Or
I think she was on the police force, the Chinese police force or something. She was like looking for revenge on her dad because Shadow Lu killed her dad or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, before we start, who was your first Street Fighter character?
Okay, so my friends were trying to get me into Street Fighter, and I was like, I suck, and I was playing, with them, and I don't know, I was having a difficult time learning it. At the time it was really advanced, like the special moves, like you don't just like hit one button, you had to like do a quarter combo, like a quarter circle forward, or like hold back 2 seconds and then at the like time it like forward with a punch. So it was very, very different, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I think they were trying to be nice to me, but they're like, okay, just keep playing and choose different characters, and then you'll find the character that you fit with the most. And I was Guile and of course I was attracted to like Guile and Ken and Ryu because like, oh, these guys look cool. Yeah. And then but I was just getting my ass whooped. And then I switched over to E Honda, and they were teaching me how to do E Honda's moves. And I think my friends were just being nice to me, and they were letting me win. And they're like, dude, I think you found your guy. I think this is your guy, E Honda. And I was like, I don't want E Honda to be my dude. It's like,
why? It's because he's fat?
Yeah, fat sumo wrestler.
But do you see his stomach? He has like a 6-pack, man.
Yeah, six rolls.
Yeah, but it's like.
But no, like, I was like, I guess so. I guess E Honda. So then I started like practicing more and more and more, and I actually got pretty good with him. So now he's my dude. Like now E Honda is my guy. Second to him would be Ken. But yeah, E Honda was my first kind of like dude, and still to this day my favorite. I
like them not in Street Fighter 2, but I think either Street Fighter Alpha, where he can actually, when he does his hand thing, it's actually taking away damage. Because I used to cheat on that. I would jump short, But who was yours, Paul? Who was your first character?
Well, when I first got turned into this series, I remember everyone liking Akuma. Akuma was cool. He was like, oh, it's like the demonic Ryu. Yeah. It's like the demonic Ryu. So I'm like, all right, I'll play him because he looks cool, very powerful.
It's real quick. That's funny that you mentioned that Akuma was like the first guy that you played, because when we were playing, Akuma wasn't available and he was a secret character.
Yeah, because remember I started playing Street Fighter 4.
Yeah,
and he was a character you can pick.
Yeah, he was a secret character that would whoop your ass, and then you couldn't play as him. And then eventually there was a code that came out which then made you play as Akuma. But it's funny. It's funny that.
Yeah, but I always liked him because, same thing with aLeXiS. He always looked cool. It was like, oh, this guy's kind of sick, very mysterious, and like this dark energy. But then like it's when you look at his moveset, it's Ken and Ryu.
Yeah,
it's just that. So then I started playing this and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm like, everyone's choosing him. Everyone's choosing Ken, Ryu, Akuma. I'm like, all right, I kind of want something different. And then, I'm playing 4. I'm like, I'll play soccer. I'm like, I don't care, whatever. I find out she could jump around a lot. I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of new because, she's always doing flips and kicks and all that. I kind of got accustomed to that. I was like, all right, I can probably try to learn this moveset because it's, again, same thing as Ken Ryu.
Yeah, I was going to say.
She's got the same thing. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not sacrificing that much, but she has a couple of other ones.
Who is this again?
Sakura, because she has like the Sakurajima. She has that move. I like that one because it's like the grab from behind. You can just go. Ksh, ksh. If you keep spamming the button,
she grabs you from behind.
Yeah, if you keep spamming the button, you can hold it for so long. You can make that life bar shrink like halfway, and it's just like little increments, and you can really piss someone off with that.
Man,
but that's what I like. And to all my people that watch High Score Girl, we all know why we play soccer. We all know why. When you make her do the flips, we all know why.
The same reason why we played Chun-Li and paused the spinning bird kick.
Spinning bird feet. Okay, for me, it was Chun-Li.
Wonder why?
No, because I think Chun-Li was the
thighs.
Yes. No, I think Chun-Li was the easiest to play first, right? Because
I can see that.
Her move that worked a lot was when you would jump up and you would step on.
She's another one of those aerial fighters like Sakura. You play her with a lot of jumping combos.
And then like you would do that, then you would do the quick feet.
Yeah.
That was the easiest. But I think a lot of people kind of like stopped playing Chun-Li because she was actually kind of boring, right? She had the spinning bird feet, but that never worked. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
they added a fireball, right? To which one was that?
She had a fireball?
In Alpha.
In Alpha, yeah.
Was it Alpha or was it in Super? It might have been in Super.
Okay. Because I know they added a fireball, but to me, Chun-Li was the easiest to play. But to me, it was like, okay, it's not really like you don't have like a sonic boom, a sonic kick, a fireball.
Yeah, she didn't have like projectiles. I think that's probably why. Yeah,
that's a good one. And then Zangief was kind of boring too, but if he can grab you and spin you,
yeah.
Yusef is a big Zangief player.
Yeah, he looks like Zangief too. Yeah. I'm just kidding, Yusef.
Yusef. This is both Morla. This is our friend Yusef. He's freaking good.
Yeah.
Is he?
He is.
I better challenge him in free throw.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah.
I played with him, and I was like, "Whoa, I'm actually pretty good against him." No, he was going easy on me. He was like, "Hey man, good, you got your first win," and then he fucking kicked my ass.
He was probably being nice to you, like, yeah.
I think he was trying to feel me out.
Yeah.
So then when he figured out all my moves, he's like, "All right," and he fucking.
It's like once Zangief grabs you, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, but
the people who can play Zangief, like they know, like they know how to play.
Like their timing has to be good because when my friend from Fairfield, what's up, Adrian? You're probably gonna listen to this. When he was Zangief, the way he would play, like he's just walking back and forth, like he would grab you real quick. It's like, dude, how'd you know? But then it didn't work when he went to Golfland for the Street Fighter tournament. He was getting his ass kicked because they knew how to distance him.
Yeah.
But did they even make Zangief easier or better to play?
Yeah, they tweaked him over the years. Okay. Yeah, everybody. I think they tweaked everybody. Yeah, over the years.
You know who was easy too, and he was easy. He kind of looks like you, Blanca, right? Blanca was easy to play.
But I had hair, maybe.
No, like that was one where the way you would cheese, you would just keep pressing fast. You beat the electricity.
Yeah.
Nobody touches you. But now, like a fireball will stop it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So and he would do that circle thing. That was easy too, but yeah, man, that was
Yeah, Street Fighter was just like next level stuff.
Yeah.
I love it.
Before we move on, I'm just gonna say Street Fighter. Yeah, I had my exposure at Street Fighter 4, but my very first like fighting game was actually Tekken number 2.
Tekken.
Because before the PS2 I have, which is my all-time favorite console that I still have, not to say anything, but I had a PlayStation 1, and with that PlayStation 1, our dad got us Tekken 2, and that's the game that me and my brother play. And I remember us playing that, and that was the first game, and that was the one where actually it's not a 2D plane, you can move around.
Yeah, like a circle. Yeah.
It was Tekken 1 was like the first 3D fighter. I think that was that before Virtual Fighter. I'm not sure. Yeah. Roughly around the same time.
Yeah, but all poly graphics, but it still moved, and it moved really good. It moved really good for what it was too.
I think Tekken really couldn't get that popular because what made Street Fighter good to me, and maybe Mortal Kombat, even Samurai Shodown, was each character had a story that you knew about. Like Tekken has characters too, right? And I don't know what the story is.
They do.
You gotta play.
You gotta play Tekken.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I,
Hachi. Oh man, you have got to play.
You got some homework to do.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was like, whoa, these guys had stories like, and it also has to do with the backgrounds that you fought them in. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a reason you fight what's his face How on like the helicopter pad. There's a reason you fight King in the church. There's a reason you fight what's her name in like the fucking sheep field.
I don't even know these characters are talking about, but I'm gonna make sure I do my homework. Okay, good job. Yeah, so but yeah, I think wow, we're off topic, but that's good.
No, I think we're
yeah. So one thing, we should probably wrap it up. It's already been 44 minutes.
Wow.
You mentioned a while back that you had never tried the Bulldog. Can you grab the pack over there?
I got you.
The 2 times extra hot
here we go.
Korean noodles, Korean instant noodles. It's a few years late to jump on the trend, I think, but never too late to try it on camera. Would you like to do that?
Right
on
now?
The podcast? Yes, right now.
Right now?
Yeah. Well, I'll go cook it up. It'll take like 5 minutes for me to cook it up.
I would.
Morla, I'll just say this. There's 3 of us right now. One of us has not done it.
Okay. No, we got to do it in the next one. I got to do it because I want to be prepared. I want to have like my ice cream next to me or milk.
Ice cream. Morla, I'm going to say ice cream will not save what comes out the other way.
Okay. Like it's hot coming in. And plus I would, but Alexis, I wish you would have told me, because if you look at this it's 60% of your sodium, and I already had a sandwich today, so I'm watching when I eat. So if I'm going to eat this.
Hey, what's another 30?
What's another 30? That's called high blood pressure. So yeah, so stay tuned, because when we come back, I'm going to be eating this on the next episode. Maybe I'll start off the podcast by eating this and see if I can still interview you guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
My question was, did you want to do it on the podcast, or did you want to do a separate video segment for it?
We will talk about it. We will talk about it. All right. Maybe that'd be funny, right? If I eat this and I'm trying to do the interview and stuff. So yeah, 2 times spicy. We have it. But anyways, that's all the time we have for today. Again, hey, good luck at California Extreme this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we could talk about, take some pictures, B-roll.
I will show my haul, because every year I tend to buy something I don't necessarily mean to.
I remember you called me last year to go back to buy this little TV, and then when I showed you the picture, it wasn't
I should have. Because then when I saw it, I was like, oh, dude, I can get this on eBay like cheaper. Yeah. I saw it on eBay, I was like 100 something. I was like, how much was it to show? I saw it $60. I was like, fuck, I should have got the show. Whatever. This year, I will redeem myself.
I couldn't go this year because it's the same weekend as my cousin's 50th birthday. So Danny, gonna be there for you, buddy.
Happy birthday, Danny!
Happy birthday, man. All right, so signing off, and stay tuned, and thanks for your support. Next time.